exactly. Shoes. What's the first shoes?
Yeah.
Shoes.
The other name we had was Shoes, and we just came from the house, and the family tells us he's not doing well, and we've tried to call him first, but all the phones are off because they want to give him an opportunity to rest. I think that's what they said now.
Yeah.
So we thought we won't force the issue for now. Maybe at a later stage. They wouldn't want to wake him up while he's recovering. Anyway, so we'll make the best of what we have here. Everybody knows the Duke. Mention is made also of him having been very young.
Ellis, kyk hoe sit die dewe boer
With Pastor Jude in the loft.
Kyk hoe sit die dewe boer, hulle rekord ons. Up, hoor, up, dewe.
Wie gaan het doen?
Ik weet wat af.
So we'll just go a little bit down memory lane, pricking the memory of these veterans. Veteran, weet nie wat is 'n Bybel? Pigeon Fanciers.
Ja, Pigeon Fanciers.
Veterans Pigeon Fanciers. In terms of where did they look up?
Ellis,
what memories comes to mind?
Ruben! Ik zei vandaag aan onze
Ellis, kom net skoon toe. Kom skoon, ek dink dit is number 2 gestaan.
nee, die is Ruben.
Go there, clean the bum, hey? Clean the bum. Hey,
Oké, maar dat ik dat toch
You're gonna come now.
So I think the veterans are loaded with memories, whatever they can recall. Mainly, I just wanted them to express their birthday wish, since we're celebrating the 75th. No worry, snake alles uit wat die dames is. So the other thing. Yeah, it's mainly also just to collect their birthday wishes for the apostle that just recently turned 75. I don't know what they would want to say to him, having reached this milestone of 75 years. I don't know if Brother Duke would know how long he's been also in the pigeon business with the apostle. But Oom Piet also will tell where did he hook up with the apostle. What you can recall. What were your fondest memories?
First of all, I just wanted to wish him very well on the 75th birthday because of how God carried him. And that's a testimony because the word of the Lord says 3 scores and 10, and he's already above the 3 scores and 10, and he's still looking healthy. And for all the time that God carried him through many trials, because not even with the pigeons, but I'm talking on the spiritual side, because all of us as Christians always have we have a challenge in our lives. But what I wanted to say in short, I thank God for him sparing him that much years. The time when I met Pastor first was at the late Brother Mike's house. It's where I met him for the very first time. And then the next week, Mike asked me also to join them for church services. He was with his children, except the wife. All the children, he had a Pigeon 304, ne? 404. And then from there on, because by that time he didn't have birds, and then we lost contact until me and Brother Juke went to his place in Horizon. Yeah? Is it Horizon where he stayed?
Kop voorbeeld keer aan hoor. I just wanted to phone op flight mode set. Maar dan nog niet incoming calls op en dan kom ik rijden.
It's Horizon I played in. Ja, maar het is Horizon because je gaat met mijn reisboek af dan rijden op die spoorse kant.
Horizon View, ja. Voilà, een Roodepoort.
Ja,
ja.
het is Horizon.
Daar is jouw...
Skat soms iemand aan. Staat weer zijn hand.
Dit is om een verzwagen van graven.
Waar was het nu? We were staying in Horizon. That's where I met Pastor for the, I think the third time. But this time, this time he had birds. The previous two occasions he didn't have birds, but this time he had good quality birds which he flew. And then that was the World Cup qualifiers. No? His birds done very good. I think excessive good.
What year are we talking about now? More or less?
We're talking more or less about
What others are talking about
19.
not is it before 2000?
Yeah, before 2000. It was 1900.
Oh, okay.
Before 2000. Because
Was it
Pastor,
before that occasion there, with the 50th birthday? That was 96.
yeah,
That was 96. Where you were showing the one blue cock, the father of all these strains.
Yeah.
The blue cock 544.
544, yeah.
yes.
That was on the 21st of March 1996. On that day, celebrated his 50th birthday.
I think it was
Then you
before.
went into the loft, and there you spoke about Pastor Jude passed you the blue cock,
Yeah.
the 544.
Yes.
Was it before that?
Yeah, before that.
Oh, then
Because that was the first
Then you
World Cup qualifiers.
maybe it was early 90s.
Early 1900.
Mm.
And then he flew the World Cup qualifying. But then after that, I met him again at late Urban Cape. He's also late, but also very good and a prominent fancier of the Birmingham. That's where I met him because Urban was also flying also the qualifiers to the World Cup. And from there, Pastor was joining our club, the ABRC, and then we flew together as members of ABRC. We went there, we had good times together. I remember one time, we had a time where Pastor took us out to Southgate, where we sat down, Duke, Jonathan, Duke, and all of the club members. And Pastor bought us some lunch. I think that guy was also with us. What is his name? The one you said is looking also after the pigeons?
Oh,
Diesel.
Diesel, yeah, Diesel. Diesel was also present. And then we flew about with them, the pastor, until I think last year. No? Was it last year when Pastor left us?
Yeah, no.
The year before last, when Pastor left the club due to circumstances. That was, but he was a very good challenger, good attitude. But when we are flying with birds, we normally joke with each other. Even Pastor was also, he was not like a pastor that keep himself one side. He was with the guys, making jokes, laughing for the whole day when we had that competition of club competitions. And then Pastor, he gave me one bird, and I think I do.
You remember that?
Yeah, I gave it to you. I do. The one I gave to Myrtle, that he bred some rollers also. Actually, it was to Houston, because Houston was also coming here to me through Barachu. But then that is all that I can say, what I remember prominent about the
And
pastor.
it talks about the blue that you gave with them. Give me your take on these blue strain. What are they, in your opinion, what is your take on the blues in general?
They are very good rollers, exceptional good rollers. But to me, I don't know, Pastor got them that they could hold together. To me, they were individual by my place, but they were very good, solid rollers, tight spinners. I'm talking about coconuts. And one year, I think it was the World Cup that he took for those birds, that we went to go and look at Walkerville by that yard. I think you were also there.
Before, let's just go a little bit back. We'll talk now about the World Cup and what that meant to, especially the non-white Pigeon Fanciers.
Yes.
I don't know if there was another non-white Pigeon Fancier that
No, I don't think so.
I'm not so clued up with that history, but we'll hear from you now. But before that, the guys are talking about the 2013 kids. When you got to the loft, I don't know if it's the loft in Walkerville.
No, I think it was on the horizon.
There was a World Cup qualifier.
Oh no, that
the yard was packed with
that was there by the yard.
Guys with cameras.
Yes.
What was so remarkable about that event where guys wanted to come with their cameras?
Because of the outstanding of the birds, the quality. He bred those birds into good quality, and I think he's the only one who knew how to handle them so they could roll together. You can even ask Brother Jude. They did roll very, very good. And together, they didn't even go very high up because they were rolling continuously like that. That is why the guys went, and others had cameras, others had cell phones taking, because they were rolling in our eyesight. Yes. But that was, I think, one of Pastor's best kids ever. That I think the Falcon took some of them, 17 birds of that extent, remarkable kid.
You want to add something to that, Bro? What is your recollections on that 2013 kid?
I've got such a lot to say. But what I can remember is that Pastor, when he started with the birds, it must have been the second time. For the second time, because I was always hearing him saying, at that time when he had birds, he himself, he said when his father or somebody bought him the birds, and then I could make out to say the pastor had birds before. But then again, I started to be with a pastor maybe every Saturday, every week. The pastor was now coming to this birds, and the guys they just wanted to sell birds to the pastor. But now being a pastor, I thought to myself, okay, now I'm not going to leave these guys. Because I know these guys, Pigeon Fanciers, they're very, very stupid. So I thought, no, they want to sell pastor birds that they want into us good birds. But then again, I said to myself, we belong with the birds. You need a strain.
Yes.
You must come out to a point where you need a strain. You can't have all those good birds. Birds that you buy this one, good birds, you buy that. they made them together, and the youngsters is just rolling down and what, and all of them things that you don't want them to do. So I told the pastor, name of pastor, moment pastor, here's the birds that had a mic, Francis. Here's the birds that you must get. Because why? Me myself, I wanted those birds in my loft because why? They were, to me, they were tops.
No, they were. They were very
What strain of?
It was a strain
Stanballs.
from what?
No, not Stanford.
No,
what is a Bursa now?
It was actually from what's this guy's name?
Standard.
John Foster. Rainier Foster.
Rainier Foster.
Yeah.
We went there on a Sunday.
Yeah. You know what happened actually? When what's this guy's name now? I keep forgetting his name. He was so to do with the birds. He had all the import birds in his yard.
Elven Kid.
No. White guy.
Oh, quite.
So he had all those birds. And then this
Adam
guy,
Standard.
Adam Standard.
Yes.
Adam Standard. He had all those birds, but then again, he went overboard with the birds. The birds were so in his life that he couldn't help himself. And he left his wife alone at home many a times.
Yeah.
Adam Standard went overboard with the birds that he had in his loft because why? Those birds were all birds from England, Birmingham. And then his wife told him, sorry to take so long with this,
No, it's fine.
but then his wife told him, Adam's wife told him, hey, listen here, good. It's either the birds or sheep. It's either you must pick, because you want the birds or
Choose
you want
between-
between the two.
Yes.
Then when he made a nice choice, and he chose
The birds.
he chose his wife. And he started to sell the birds, and it went like hotcakes.
I'm so sorry for the
No,
interruption,
fine.
Brother Piet. Just take us back to your start again by the standard guy, nah?
Yes.
Okay.
Andre Standard.
Andre Standard had all the import birds in his yard. Imported from all those guys.
From England.
Yeah, not from England, the guys that brought the birds in to South Africa.
Oh.
Like Ranier and this one, and all those top guys. And he bought the birds from them slowly, and then it wasn't long. Then he had all the birds, more or less, all the good birds was in his lot. And then his wife said to him, "Listen here, it's either you leave me and you carry on with your birds, or you leave the birds and they go on their lives." And then he made a nice choice, and he said, "All right, you'll take his wife." And then he choose his wife. And then the guys went back. Other guys went and they took all the birds that they wanted out of his lot. And it ended up with Irvin now. When there was just a little bit, it's about not a lot of birds left, good birds. Then Irvin came. And Irvin, when he went there, he took all the birds, bought all the birds, and even the lofts as well. And I was there helping him breaking down the lofts and what. Nice lofts that this guy had. But I've never met this guy, Adam Standard. Anyhow, then Irvin said something remarkable. There was a red check bird with white wings. Ranier bred that bird, and that bird was outstanding in the sky. Outstanding. And Ranier told Irvin, and Irvin didn't stay far. Him and Adam Standard didn't stay far away from one another. At that time, Adam still had birds. So this bird of Ranier somehow found himself in the kit of Adam Standard. And Adam took the bird and he looked and he said to his friend, just maybe a couple of streets away from him. And he phoned his friend. phoned Renier. He said, Renier, here's a bird of yours here in my kitten. What must I do? Will you come fetch it or what? Renier told him, listen here. Fly that bird and you'll see. Fly that bird and you'll see. And he went, Adam Stanley went and let the bird go up with his kid. Yo! Then he saw miracles. Like that. Hey! When the birds came down, then he had a problem now with his wife. And then Renier said, right, keep the bird. Then he thought he's no more gonna fly this bird. Yo! This is now completely a Birmingham roller. Champ! Now, Renier, yeah. There's Adam Starr sold the birds, those birds, that other guys, when they looked at this bird, this red bird, they wasn't impressed because why it was Renier's bird. But they didn't know the story. So they left the birds there, this bird there. And Irvin came and he bought the birds. And this Adam Standard told Irvin, Muni guy Dave lost you. Irvin, don't leave this bird. And then he told him about the bird. He told Irvin about the bird. Irvin said, alright, Irvin just took it for granted. The bird is good. We had the birds there. Irvin invited us to say there's birds that he wants to sell because he had too far too many birds in his space. Yeah, and the whites came and they bought this and they bought that and they bought this. And that red bird was just sitting there in his loft. So when we came, me and Mike Francis, we wanted John Thompson's. John Thompson's was mostly black birds, checker badges, black check and what they do. So we went with that 100 rand. That time the birds were still 10 rand when you buy it from Irvin. So we went there to Irvin. We want to buy 100 rand birds. Irvin said, alright. So he sold us birds. They sold us birds according to what he wanted to get rid of. And then Irvin said, alright now, because why he must have, gave us the inferior birds, So he thought, we must have thought to say, man, let me give them this cock. Because Irvin didn't worry about this cock, this red check cock. Irvin said, alright, he told us the story behind this bird. Why it's a Renier Foster rings on. Then we said, alright, we'll take the bird. We took the bird. And I paid for the bird, me and Mike, I don't know, but we gave him 100 rand and we left. It was breeding time and then we had this bird up with a lousy hen in Mike's loft. I remember it was a slate hen, a common slate. Just a common slate hen that he had, but it was a tumbler. I'll never forget that. So Mike took that red check cock with that bird. The slate hen. Common bird. He put it up. And I wasn't worried. And they were right. The birds bred and what. Then the youngsters started to roam. Hey! We were standing there, me and Mikey said, you come cake self. When I got to his place, I didn't stay far from him. So I went there in the morning. Hey, saw this bird. They say, you see that bird, and you see that bird, and you see that bird. It all comes out of that red cock. Except what? I was taken up with the bird's performance, the style, the length. Everything was just how you want your birds to be. That was that red check birds now, youngsters. The birds came down, we checked the rings, we checked the bird. Now, hey, positive it is that bird's youngsters flying. Then we started to go wherever we talk, wherever we go and meet other brothers. Hey, I said, now we right. But then again, I could have had that red check cock in my loft as well. But then again, I also had good birds that I bought from Irvin, very good birds. And I had a nice success with them. Then Mike he put this cock on with the dun balls. Now the dun balls, it's birds also from brown overseas birds, that were very good, very, very good, but they'll take the time to come into their own. They'll take maybe more than, if your birds take about 2 months, they'll take about 3, 4 months, 4 months, right? So I didn't like that, but the role was, the quality was excellent.
Outstanding.
Outstanding of the Danbones.
Yes.
And Mike, and now the point was, then Mike, we found out that those birds, when they start to roll, they roll all deeper and deeper the longer they roll. Deeper into the roll, deeper,
The longer
until they
they
hit the
fly.
grounds. Until
Yes.
they hit the grounds or the roofs. That was the weak point. So we were positive that it's exactly like that. So whenever we fly birds and people, Mike's birds come down, roll down, and he said, that's Danbone. But then now when he had this bird, Mike took that red check cock. He took that cock and he matched it up with a Danbone hen. Brother Daniel, it was, from day one, it was excellent. The youngsters. No roll downs, no this or that, taking long to come in that row. That bird that complete,
spinners.
yeah, good spinners. That bird that complete control over that Danbone hen. That bird, that red check cock.
Because of the deepness of it.
So Mike bred a few of them and he gave me a red cock. And I was busy with Pastor that I said, Pastor, let's go. And Pastor went to Mike and he saw what he did, what he saw. It was
Good.
going on. Good birds and what, quality and what. So I wanted him to get away from Urban and them, because why they were, I don't know how must I put it, more after money, man.
Yeah. Like a business.
And I didn't like that idea. I thought, no, man, you guys can't do this to the pastor, man. So I told the pastor, easy birds. Here's the birds, pastor. Here by Mike. Mike bred me also a few, and he gave me, out of that cock, he gave me a solid red cock, yeah, but big bird, and I didn't like the bird, his body. But then again, I had the cock. Then I went to the pastor. I said, Pastor, you can either home this bird that Mike gave me, or you can breed with it. Anyhow. But I'm telling you, Pastor, this bird comes out of a red check cock. And their pastor let the bird out and the bird flew away. Pastor, where's that bird? No, it flew away. Then we went to rehearsed Foster, two of us. And then I've already had pastor, no more to go to Irvine and buy birds there. I had him under subjection with that motorless. So we said, no, let's go to rehearsed Foster. So we went to rehearsed. When we got there, Renier told us what happened. Same story that Irvin told us.
Yeah.
What happened with the
About
bird
the
flew
red check.
to that keeper for Adam's done. So we said, all right, we're having great, then the pastor said to we're having great success with that red check that you sold to Irvin. But now we want the parents of that bird. That guy said, hey, jammer pastor, sorry pastor, but this bird's parents is in Pretoria. He borrowed it out to somebody in Pretoria. Well, I said, all right, we what he said. He said, but pastor, this bird, those birds that you want, that line, there's one in Van der Bijl Park. And I'll never forget this man's name. It was Ted Collar. This white guy that had the bird there,
yeah.
Ted Collar. He had that bird. And Renier told Pastor, he said, Pastor, this bird, how will I recognize this bird? It's a millie. We call it a millie. It's a millie, but it's got no ring on. And it's slightly bulby. It's got no rings on to identify itself. So he said, Pastor, you must take what I say. But that bird comes out of that same pair, that same red check. This is his brother there in Van der Bijl Park. We rushed to Van der Bijl Park the following day. When we got there, the bird was there. Because it was explained to us how the bird looks and what. And then the toppy, nice toppy.
Ted Colin.
That quality. His wife was also there, were talking with us and what. And then Pastor spoke to me. Pastor told me, we actually came for this one. He said, no, it's okay. What. This guy, the way I look at it, he also underestimated that Millie. This guy will call her. He underestimated that bird because why? That bird had no rings.
But
Here's where the things now
the bird
started.
hasn't got rings.
But no rings on. And he, okay. Then he said, it's okay. You'll sell the bird to Pastor. Pastor bought the bird. I said, in my heart, I said, thank you. Then Pastor said, all right, Duke, I'm going to buy you another bird. This dead caller told Pastor, this is that. He mentioned the birds that he have in his loft and what strains that he has. And he said, you see that cock? It was a black ball cock. Black, white wings and white edge. He said that bird comes out of the 213 cock. That is directly from that guy in England, or Bob Brown. He said, this cock might look so simple unto us, but his father made history. They call it the 213. The 213 cock. Yeah, from the ring number from England. And Pastor bought me that cock. But that cock, sold me that cock because why? That bird must have been fighting with the other birds in the loft and they got a hold of him in his eye. His eye was messed up. Yeah, one eye. I said, all right. Pastor gave me the cock. He said, all right, I said, no problem, but I took the bird. When we got home, Pastor read, what was that box, my number? 230. No, the one that is big shot.
Or 544.
544.
Yes.
Then Pastor bought the 544 alarm.
You went home.
We went home. We took that cock. That was my cock. Yeah. Then Pastor took the millie cock. Yeah. He mated it. I don't know what hen. And then Pastor also bought a loft there from that guy. So Pastor bought millie cock, bought Mia cock, and pigeon loft. When we got home, he took the millie cock. He must have been very disappointed, but I couldn't see because my pastor, the guy, told him, this guy, that bird hasn't got a ring on.
Yeah, but it's of that line.
But it's coming from the family that's in Pretoria that he borrowed out. Then he said, all right, the pastor took the bird, mated it with I don't know what, brother. He mated that millie, and he underestimated. It mated it with a tortoiseshell hen. A tortoiseshell hen that I think he bought it from Grenier as well. Then the trouble started. Then Pastor took that millie cock and they only bred one youngster. That was that cock. What's his number?
544.
544. The millie and that other hen, the tortoiseshell hen, bred only one bird. Huh? And that was a 544. Sleek cock. Pastor took the millie cock. He took that millie cock. He gave it to somebody there around. Oh yeah, I know that guy. I know that guy because that guy was always looking at my birds. Down the road, he was going out with somebody there and he always watched my birds coming from anything. So Pastor gave that bird. But I didn't know about it. Pastor gave him that bird. Hey, because he had other birds there, beautiful birds and heavy reputations and all that. What.
I just know
Pastor now. Birds that he bought from Irvin and what. You know, there was one time, brother, that Pastor bought a pair out of Irvin's loft. When he bought that bird, I said, and Irvin gave him the birds. I said, Irvin, what, do you want to stop flying birds now? Because that was his top pair, especially the cock. And he sold it to Pastor. So Pastor was confused now. The old man was confused now. Because why? Irvin's best birds that he hand-picked, he got it in his loft. And here's a bird here, the mealycock, that's got no rings on. Huh? Then the pastor said, I can imagine what went through his head. Ah, man, put this bird up there. And then he gave this bird to that friend of mine. I forgot his name. Then that bird started to fly with the kid. And then he started to show his true colors. He showed his true colors, bro. Until pastor was now taken up. There was no way for him. Hey, then he went to that guy. Then he gave the millie to him. He said, hey, was they probably there over there? Jonathan, they must have told him he stays there. When they got there to that girl said, hey man, he did the same thing with that bird. He
Because of no
underestimated the bird.
Because of no rings.
No rings. That guy did the same thing.
Gave it also away.
He gave it away or whatever he did with it. Huh? Brother Daniel. So when pastor now came there to him, hey, he said, no, but you never gave me a bird like that. Because you could see now, pastors now, how can I say?
Anxious.
He's anxious.
And that bird.
He wants that bird back. That guy said, no, you never gave me a bird back. You gave me birds, yeah, but you never gave me that.
Drink water too.
You can find it.
Nee. Hulle record nog. Sit maar aan.
And that guy tonight, he said, no, man, you never gave me that bird. Hey, pastor turned back. I don't know how he felt. But he went back. But as long as he got that other one, that 455 cock, the bird was flying. So we were flying competition, and then there was this guy, a white guy from Birmingham. What is his name?
Anas.
No.
Albert.
Huh? No.
Oh, Tepu. This is name again. No, I forgot his name too.
I must tell you the name. Gerard Saliers.
Posaliers. Gerard.
Yeah, Gerard. Now Gerard was a top-notch guy there, man, with a pigeon. Everybody knew Gerard Saliers and what. Nice. Nice kids and what. He asked pastor, we were flying competition that day. We were flying. And he went to pastor. Gerard went to pastor while we were standing there. And pastor was staying now. Yeah, pastor was staying in Walkover. He said, say for me in the story. There's a day there on your log. There's a bird that you flying there. That bird don't stop around. What he meant was the bird was excellent. He said, that bird, there's he again. There's he going again. He said, you know what, Gerard? You know what, pastor? Gerard told pastor, if I had that bird, I would have to come down and never fly again. I'll make him up with all the good hands in my life. If I had that bird, that was my bird. That's what I had.
Was it the 5?
So he told pastor, take that bird, mate it up with all the hands that you do. Yeah.
It's not
No
544.
So pastor did exactly what he said. Because that 544 was excellent. Pastor could not now still go to Irvine. He was excited with this bird. And that's how the thing started. The ball started to roll. He ended up coming to me, said, Duke, come and have it. When I got there, I said, yeah, that's it. No, where's the bird's father? Where's the mealycock? No, that guy said to me, I gave him, when I went to his, he said, I never gave him that bird. Was good. Then I thought about the red cock that I gave the pastor. Out of the same pair, out of the same red check cock.
But he didn't have it also.
Yeah, he underestimated that cock as well.
It's like the brother of that.
Yes, yeah. Hey, I thought, no man. Thing, yeah, what I must do, I must come here every day and look, is this cock here? Because pastor, hey, These guys, they got the pastor, man. Hey, they come. They make offers unto him. Hey, that go that love there. Then pastor would go and buy that. There was a time that pastor bought a whole family that was from England. I forgot the name of it. Somebody mentioned it now the other day. Pastor bought those birds. Yeah, those birds just flew. When the youngsters just came down all the way. Nonsense. I said, no, pastor, los die mensen, man. Los die mensen, pastor, man. Then he convinced himself by looking at those birds that they said it's so good. And then when he looked at the other bird, 455, he could see the vast difference. And from that time on, brother, he made up his mind. The bird came down, put it in the loft, fed it, and that was the beginning of pastor. You know, after that, he had a few of those birds flying and performing with different hands, with dung balls, and that bird would control that bird, the dung ball, the youngsters. So one day we went to say, I told my cousin Hansi, I said, Hansi, let's go to pastor. I think it was a holiday or what. Then he came with Frank Baker, another guy, a giant with the pigeons. He came to, we went to Walkover. When we got there, Brother Daniel, the birds were rolling feet. They were there, looking at the birds now. And pastor was just explaining, this is the youngster of that cock, and this is the young one out of that cock. The birds were rolling. And I was sitting there, far from them.
Watching.
Then the Hansi came to sit with me while they were looking at the guys were there, watching the birds. You know what he told me? Hansi said, Duke, there is no move van rol to see. He was the head looking at birds that were rolling. Excellent rollers. Slecht happy. That's what he told me, and I'll never forget it. Never forget it. He came, he left the bunch there, and he came to me and said, ek is moeg nou om rol te sien. Alright, then years went by, and every time, there was one time also when Cedric, they went and checked Pastor's birds. So I went up and said, Cedric, who was supposed to sit? Because I knew them, they were rolling shoes now. Yeah, shoes.
Yes.
When I got to shoes, she said to me, Duke, they were roll at the moeg word. Hulle rol Piet. He said for me, that was his actual words, man. He said, Duke, they will roll until they get tired, exhausted. And then they'll come down. Okay. That's what he told me. Then the white guys would Then the white guys, they made it a point. There was this guy, one of the great guys, man. He was a giant. What was his name?
Easy.
He owned over the day, man. He's pastor built a house for that guy there on the farm. What's that guy's name? He didn't have a place to stay, so pastor were friends with him. And then pastor just came up like that. Like that. God, I'm so forgetful. Also 17.
Yes.
So, pastor, yeah, they were friends, and then he had his pigeon loft in pastor's yard. And pastor had his loft there in the yard. And they'll tease one another. When you get there.
And walkable.
Yeah, and walkable.
But that same spot.
Yeah, that house is still standing there.
Oh, they clean is after the cat.
Yeah, he does a pantry or something like that. Vleesbeer.
Yeah.
Easy.
Oh.
I can't forget it. But that guy was a giant in the whole of South Africa. That guy. Yeah, Brother Daniel. That's what.
What strain was he?
Yeah, he had his own strain by that time, and I also forgetful. I'm sorry. get from there.
But the 544, the blues was
And he had already youngsters.
only pastors trainer.
Yeah. And he had
He ran
already.
with that.
Yeah, he had already of that 544's youngsters in his law. He had pastor. He had pastor. He was milking pastor.
Yeah.
With the babies on the
Yeah,
side.
they were breeding with them.
Yeah.
Because he saw them in the air.
Hey man, that was awesome. He passed on. Nice dopey, man. Nice dopey. I don't know what else to say, man. But one day also, pastor was with them. I was with pastor and Irvin came. Irvin, pastor, I don't know what pastor had a disagreement with somebody. And Irvin was there. So when we left, then we were with the Irvin. Then Irvin said, "No, man, pastor, you've got your birds now. Your birds is enrolling, man. Your birds is the best, man.
In South Africa.
In South Africa." That's what he told him. He said, "You're the best, pastor." I mean, yeah.
But he did prove it when he took the World Cup.
That's what I want to come to.
And then he said,
then the World Cup came.
Yeah, Irvin told pastor, "Nah, leave this guy. Leave this guy. Your birds." My point is, I just want to tell you that what Irvin said and what Hansi said and what friend Blake and them said. But then, what you want to know about?
No, carry on with it.
Yeah, Irvin told the pastor, "No man, pastor, lost the owns. Your birds is an excellent." I was there when Irvin said that. So nobody else can tell me to say no, those birds are not. So then again, it was now time for us to fly pigeons. Yeah. Daniel, I must also put something in about myself. I get a lot of slants with klinkens. Where I had my birds now, because I had good birds from Irvin, man. We'd go there every Saturday morning. There's Utopia. We'll pick him up, then we'll go to Irvin. From Irvin, we will clear off. We'll go to Western. And Steve there. Steve, guys with the birds now. So every Saturday, and from there we'll go to Sandton to fetch Uncle Louis' wife. She was working there. And I had my birds. You know, there was a time that the white guy told me, said, "Oh, Tabby, enter." He said, "Duke, when we fly, we were flying in one team. And we fly now. Then he'll tell me, Duke, when we're on our way to your house, then we're in the way. It's trouble." I had good birds. Because why? Irvin told me secretly. He said to me, "Duke, take that 213s of that red check that Mike had. Take that line and put it up with a red button. Put it up with spangle and bronze." I did what he said, and he sold me some of them. And I put them up, I mated them, and I saw the results. Yeah.
That's why you became
so famous with the birds.
The World Cup top 10.
Yeah, and then when the World Cup started, when it first started here in South Africa,
As well.
We were all one bag, non-whites, whites.
When was it? I can't remember what year was it.
But I think it was 1994.
Then the doors were open now for the non-whites.
Yeah.
For the North, not just for the... That time, not even the whites were flying World Cup here in South Africa.
Yeah.
Then the whole of South Africa had to amalgamate. We were in there. And it came with all the rules.
Yes.
Strict rules, because why they say we're supposed to be champions. We had our diaries, we had our clubs, this, that, and we had our flight before the tournament, before the big tournament. And then you have to fight your way up there. You say, you came so and so there in the club, so and so there. Then they'll take you, then they'll send somebody And they checked the birds, no, the birds are right. It was like that, how strict it was. And they told us how the birds must roll, how if one bird roll, they don't give you a point. If two birds roll, there's no points. Three birds, no. If five birds roll, once like that, then you start to get points. If 10 birds roll, if 6 birds roll, then you get 6 points, 5 birds, 5 points. 10 birds, then you get double, and so forth. That was the rules of the World Cup. It was strenuous. So it was our time now. First time that we had to fly against the world. And somebody in America was already up high with his points. So this O came, Montenegro. He took the World Cup, I think about 4 times. He was now the world champion. Montenegro. He died while he was busy with the pigeons.
Driving
Driving
one place to another,
someone
charging
car
pigeons.
accident. Brother Daniel, he was the judge. Now the judge came with strict rules that not he has made, that was in
Constitution.
the constitution that they've sent over to South Africa.
Oh,
Strict rules, but they have been not. So he came. He came and he started off in Birmingham on the rail park and so forth. Those white guys. And we were flying in that region. We were flying with that region. Birmingham. Hey, and they came and yeah, my friend Tony. I especially stayed out of work that day. It was the Friday. I stayed out of work. It was my turn to fly. And they asked you, what time do you want to fly? Then I said, no, I'd like to fly 4:30, 5 o'clock. They said that's what I got a judge. So the judge came all the way from Vereniging, and they came there about half an hour before time. Half an hour or an hour before time, they came there, the judge. With all those white guys. And guys from Pretoria. Oh, from Pretoria, from Van der Bijl, all over those whites came. They want to see this guy now that's representing us. It was like that street. I'm not talking about now the yard, the street.
We're standing in the street touching the gates.
Hey, I just made myself strong to say no, I mustn't buckle down. So we went to my loft. It was an ugly loft, but it was clean. I guess that counted. Hey, Gerrit and them, they were all there. They were all there. They said, Duke man, fight your date, money worry nie man. Hey, every now and then got this one this to say, that one got that to say. Money worry Duke man, money so nervous as nie man. And I was nervous. Here's the World Cup judge in my yard. Huh? I said, alright. It was time now. Time was going down. The minutes were going down. So I called Tony one side. Listen to this. I heard you must fly 20 birds. You can only fly 20 birds. You can either fly 19, 18 or so, but it must be 20. You cannot go above it. And you cannot fly, you can fly until 15 birds, you can also fly. Yeah. But now I had 20 birds. And I was battling with one bird. This bird was a very good roller. It was a cock, a dun cock. I gave this bird to a friend of mine that was pestering me, Brother Daniel. This guy, it was a nice guy. Maar boy, he had heart problems. And he was my friend. He'll come there every night to give me talk that day. Please give me that bird. And yeah, World Cup flight was coming. Closer, getting closer, closer. And this guy is pestering me, man. I said, I closed my eyes, I said, Fadi Dave. But I got a bad heart, I gave it to him. So when my birds were flying, I said to myself, hey, I want to make double show. I want to make double show about my flight because I'm a non-white. Because people like to take non-whites as nothing. So I went back to that guy. I said, listen, Boise man, I want you to understand that. Please borrow me that cock. And it was already breeding that pig. I said, just borrow me the cock. I'll give it to you. I'll give it back to you when the flight is finished. He said, all right. Now the bird didn't fly for a couple of weeks. And birds, you must train your birds before time.
Everything.
You can't just go take a bird. It's like a soccer player. You can't just go into the field and haven't trained for weeks or what. So I took the bird. About a week or so, I had the bird out there. Hey, it was coming on. I just closed myself and said, it's not so good the way I know this bird. It's not rolling the way I know this bird. So, alright, time was against me. Fed my birds, and I kept this bird one side. Fed my birds a certain amount of food. And this bird, I gave him extra food. I gave him food and extra. Because I thought, I don't know what made me think like that. And what made me do it, because I thought to myself, hey, this bird won't be able to.
Strong.
It must be strong. So I gave him extra food. And I said, all right, I'm ready. When they came, they said, Duke, it's time, right? Then they started to count the birds. They count the birds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, up to 20. 21 birds. So I had I had a tortoiseshell cock. I told
21.
Yeah. 20. I had 21. I told Tony. I said, Tony, everybody went out already. Out of the yard. I said, Tony, I don't know what to do. I said, this is the bird that the boys borrowed, that I gave boys and I borrowed again from him to fly it in this competition. What must I do? I'm in a doubt now. Must I fly this bird toward the 19 to make it 20? Or must I leave it and put this other bird on in? But this bird, I said, there's a bird, it's a deep bird, it rolls up and down. Every time it touches the kid, it rolls. Like a yo-yo. The other bird now, the tortoiseshell bird. I say, but I don't know what to do. I'm in two minds now. I said, Tony asked me a good question. He said, Duke, this bird, when it rolls, does it go back to the kid? I say, yeah. He said, then fly this bird, don't fly that one, Duke. I said, yeah, all right. When Tony, I gave him 10 birds to throw up. Because I know my birds. And I took the other 9. When Tony turned his back, I took that other bird that I borrowed that time. I put it in and I put the tortoiseshell. I said, all right, well up. I threw them up. I was still in the yard, more or less there by my door. And I asked Tony, and Tony was already there by the gate. I said, Tony, Vasela. He said, Dasela after you. I know my birds, brother. I screamed, I said, time. When I said time, at that same time also, there the birds burst. A big brick. Huh? Brother Daniel. A big brick, Brother Piet. That guy from America, he ran to me, man. He didn't give me those points. He ran to me, Piet. I said, what's wrong with you, Duke? What's wrong with you? He held me like that. He said, what's wrong with you? You missed out on that. I said, give me the points, man. It was like that. And then the birds went up. And they started to go up. And they rolled. Piet. Wow. Yo, Piet. Toe sê daar onder daar by Mekkie. Hey, watch that day. Ons staan hier by my. He's daar by my brother's house. About eight houses from me. He's there looking at the birds. Yo! It was like that. There, that bird started to roll out of that kit. That one that I went to fetch there, but it was sort of tired. Hey, big mistake.
Because of not flying for a time.
There, now if one goes out, then they still give you points. But then if two goes out, then you don't get points, even though how they roll. So there this bird came out of the kit. It came down. And that other bird, a hen, she had white wings. Black hen with white wings with a white head. Hey, and she was too loose. All of a sudden that bird go out of the kit. She went up now. And this one went down. Yo. Hey, these birds, they were rolling. They were flying and flying and flying and rolling. Brother Daniel, then this bird, he came down. The one that I borrowed on. And then all of a sudden he changed his mind. He went back up. Hey! When they're there, the people, those guys say, what's wrong with this bird? Then they started to roll again. He's in the kit now. That one, she came back in the kit. Alright, then the birds came down. The birds came down, brother. The birds came down. They were just flying now. They were tired. This toppy, he asked me, what is wrong with it? Who can he take so much? What's wrong with him? He asked me, that girl.
So you couldn't explain to him?
I said to him, hey man, I gave this guy this bird and I'm doing the fetching. He told me, say, didn't you put the millie in? I said, no, the tortoise shell. I said, no. Anyhow.
The tortoise shell could have done best.
Yeah, there I saw jealousy as well. I said, others climbing to their cars. Now this white guy, this judge, American, he told those white guys, hey, did you see what I meant when I said this is how it's supposed to be according to the Constitution? This is how it's supposed to be. Birmingham Road. Hey, he had them, man. Soos klinkenis. It's just a pity we couldn't, film this. He told them, hey, die boere was kwaad vir die ou Piet. Hulle sê 'n groot bek.
19 years.
Ja, hey, hulle sê 'n groot bek. Hy vertel hulle, he told them, he said, this is what I meant. This is what I meant. This is what I want. This is what's supposed to be. And that's it. Yeah. Hey. Well, before they left, that was not a Friday. The Saturday, they said, please, Duke, come with this bird. He had that tortoise shell in his hand. The one that I didn't throw up. He said, look at this bird. Look at this bird. Look at this bird's body. Look at this bird. And he explained to them, this is how it's supposed to be. You know what he told them? He insulted them. He told them, he said, your birds there that I saw, and the other teams, other clubs that I saw here in South Africa, it seems as though it's birds that stays in hotels.
Overfed.
Overfed. Hulle eet te veel. Hulle word te veel kos gegee. He said, look at this bird and look at his performance. Hey, those guys, they couldn't say anything, bro.
Masculine.
Oh man, hulle kon niks gesê het because that's die proof. That's the proof. Huh? Happy,
Yes.
Daniel. And so, anyhow, yeah. Then they said to Duke, man, bring that bird, bring the tortoise shell, bring the tortoise shell. He wants to show that, he wants to explain himself. Yet Nazareth, we've got direct there that we always, when we have pigeons, this or that, then we go to Nazareth. So he said, bring the bird and what, you want to show them. Yeah, brother Daniel. So, Brother Daniel,
Now, the question is, Purdue, what lesson out of this experience of yours now is there for the young up and coming pigeon fanciers to learn from this now?
yeah,
What do you want to say to the up and coming pigeon fanciers, the young ones?
I still want to say something about Pastor.
Okay.
Now, it wasn't long then Pastor's birds came in a row.
Mm.
Very good. And he was in the World Cup competition. Pastor's birds were like this. Then, when the guys came, the judge from, I don't know from where was that judge. When he came, where do you want us to stand? Pastor said, no, we're in the yard. And they were eating their bit now before the flying now. They were drinking and baking biscuits and this and they Pastor let go. Pastor let go of the birds. His birds. Then the birds were rolling. The birds were rolling like I know them how they Pastor's birds. Yeah. Irvin was so glad too. The birds were rolling. And they were performing. Then when everything was over, when they said time, 20 minutes was over. Then he checked it. The guy checked his score. Checked the score. He told Pastor, he said, Pastor, your birds needed 3 breaks. Sorry, I woke up for Your birds needed 3 breaks, more breaks. When Pastor came to me, I said, Pastor, you want this thing? I said, Pastor, I was standing out of your yard. Daar in die straat het ek gestaan.
En die we daar gepiet.
En ek het die duwe daar gepiet. Now Pastor had some trees there, Piet.
Yes, sir.
Now, if you're in the yard, you cannot see the birds roll when they come to a certain point. And they were rolling, showering, shower after shower. So I said, Pastor, met die judge vertel het, kom hier man, kom staan in die yard in die straat en buitekant, dan gaan jy meer sien. Nou, jy weet, Pastor baie teleurgestel in homself. Nie in my of in die church nie, maar in homself. He won that cup that time already. But Pastor didn't share to say that guy must stand outside. Because I was standing outside, me and somebody else. And then somebody else told me, you kick a roll and say, yeah. Kick a roll, daar is het weer daar. Then Frank came to Frank Baker. Frank said, you needed 3 breaks, man. The judge himself said, you needed 3 breaks.
And there were more than 3 breaks.
Yeah. There were meer as 3 breaks. Yeah. But hy het nie gejudge het nie, because hy kon het nie sien nie. Pastor lost it. And he was heartsold. He was heartsold. I was also heartsold. So yeah, take it.
It was very disappointing.
And with my flag, Frank Baker came to me. He said, Duke, you had over 7 big breaks while those 2 birds were out. They couldn't give me the points. He said, 7 big breaks, Duke, you had. And he climbed in the sky. He was cross with me. Climb in the car and he ray weg. Ek moes het 'n tyd gevat. Then I came number 8
in the world.
And then they came back. Then we were flying the Euro Cup. I remember. That was just now England.